Today I want to talk to you about one word that I'll be using a lot. I probably use it a few times already. And I want us to be on the same page. I don't want to be misunderstood. So the word I'm talking about is the word transformation. And I have no idea what's your definition of this word, but my definition is that transformation is becoming you again. So it's not about, as you might think, it's not about becoming someone else. It's quite the opposite. I just want you to come back to who you truly are, to unmute your voice and be yourself again. This is what this whole series is about. And in my understanding, there are three keys to transform yourself. The first one is self-awareness, that we will be talking about a lot. Consistency and self-care. So there are three major keys I believe are required to change. And the first one is self-awareness, and I already started talking about it, not calling it this way. So self-awareness starts with watching yourself very closely, to, as I mentioned in my previous videos, to look in the mirror and just face yourself. And this is what I want to encourage you to do, just to start observing yourself. And this is how my transformation started. I just noticed my patterns. I just noticed that my life just became one big pattern and I didn't like it. I noticed that I was just going to work that I didn't like, that fulfilled maybe 10% of my needs. And I spend there at least 8 hours, at least 5 times a week, sometimes 6 times, and sometimes 7 times a week. So I did this, then I went to gym, which is not a bad thing, but I understood that I went there because I had to get rid of all of the stress I had. And I was doing this also at least 5 times a week. And then the next thing I did that I'm not proud of, I was just coming back home and put TV on and just watching shows one by one. And the funny part was that I was watching baking shows or cooking shows. And it's hilarious because cooking is not even my passion. It's just, I think what I was doing, I was just watching creative people doing their stuff so I could feel better about myself. So I watched those shows sometimes 3-4 hours a day after work until midnight. And at some point I realized, I was like, oh my God, like why I'm doing this? Why I'm spending my time on things that are not even part of me? And those questions started popping up and I started asking myself more and more. And I realized that if I don't change anything, my life would just turn into this something that I never wanted. I didn't want to be like a robot, just going to work, watching TV, going to work, watching TV. I just didn't want to do it. So one of the things I decided to do, except for quitting my job, was not having TV or internet for the whole year. Last year I did it in 2018. And the reason why I did it was because I knew that I had to change something. I just knew that this doesn't work. So I knew that I need different habits. And one of those different habits, I wanted it to be that I come back home and I think, or I write, or I read. So the things I love to do, not just put the TV on. Like, it didn't make sense for me. So this is what I was doing the whole 2018, even though it was very difficult at the beginning. And it took me a while to get used to the fact that I can't just mute myself by TV, because this is exactly what we are doing. Okay, sometimes you need this kind of entertainment to get some rest from thinking, but most of the times you just turn it on to not to think. Like, don't you agree with me? This is what we all are doing. So I want to encourage you to start paying attention to what you do and why you do it. Just look at yourself, observe yourself, have this out-of-body experience. Imagine that you're out of your body and you watch yourself as someone else and see what you see over there. Okay?